Thank you for your interest in this matter. I'm Detective Chief Inspector Gary Jubilant from the New South Wales Police Homicide. As you know, 3-year-old William Tyrrell disappeared from this location in Kendal back on the 12th of September 2014. Following his disappearance, there was an extensive search conducted, coordinated by local police, specialist police, SES volunteers and community members. That search was over a 10-day period and covered approximately 18 square kilometres. Despite the efforts of the search, there was no trace of William Tyrrell found during that search. Today, we're commencing a search that could be best described as a forensic search. The difference between this particular search and the search that was done originally is that the original search was focused on looking for a little boy lost. The search commencing today, which we anticipate will take between 3 to 4 weeks, will be focusing on a forensic search. We'll be coordinating and documenting the areas that we've searched. The purpose of this is so if we present evidence to a court, whether that be the coroner's court or the criminal court, that evidence that we can show beyond reasonable doubt that William's disappearance was a result of human intervention and not through misadventure. That's what we're focusing on. I'd also like to take this opportunity to reiterate the fact that we're not giving up on this investigation. I don't want this interpreted that the investigation is coming to an end. We're committed to finding out what's happened to William. We're very mindful it's over 3.5 years since William disappeared and we haven't solved this matter. We're going to continue on until we do solve this matter. I'd also like to reinforce the fact that there is a $1 million reward out. This reward is the highest reward in New South Wales. And it's also unique in that the reward is for the recovery of William, not for the conviction of any person. So I'd encourage anyone with information to come forward. I strongly believe that there are people out there that have information on this. And I want to make a point to those people that if you do have information concerning what happened to William, you are at the risk of committing a criminal offence by concealing an offence if you don't come forward. I'd suggest you come to us before we come to you. I'd also like to put out too that if anyone, any member of the public, suspects someone, pass that information on. I dare say with the intense interest in William's disappearance that someone that might be watching this now might be feeling very uncomfortable. And if someone close to that person notices that, that's the type of information we'd be seeking to be passed on. So at this point in time, is there any questions?
Are you talking?
Look, we have grave fears, and it's been a very long time. But as I've said to the family, and I can't be any more honest than what I say to the family in a situation like this, until we know conclusively that William is not alive, we'll treat it with the possibility that he still is alive. But obviously we have grave concerns.
I believe the
coroner will be joining you at this location.
Yes, I've consulted with the former State Coroner, Mr Barnes, and the current Deputy State Coroner, Miss Graham, and in regards to what we're doing with the search, and I'm in communication with the Coroner's Office in relation to this, and I can't say when or if she will attend here, but she is certainly overseeing what is being done at this location.
Are we laying the groundwork here, if nothing is found, for a potential inquest into William's disappearance?
Look, if nothing's found, an inquest, and in my experience, the matter goes to an inquest if we can't solve it from a criminal perspective. We've always considered the possibility of it going to an inquest, and we're keeping our minds open to that. But I want to also stress that we've got numerous lines of inquiries, including persons of interest, that we're going to fully exhaust before the matter goes to the coroner. Of course, it's a matter up to the coroner, but we are in consultation with the coroner.
Why now and not 1 or 2 years ago? Why now?
The question, why are we searching now and not a couple of years ago? Very simply, it was chosen at this time for an investigative purpose. This was the time to search. We've been following up lines of inquiry for the past 3.5 years, and we deemed it appropriate at this particular point in time to conduct this search.
Have you received information that brought you back here?
We've received over 15,000 pieces of information. I'm not going to say it's specific information that's brought us here, but what we have done, and it could be argued we're not making progress, we haven't solved it, what we have done is build up a database of evidence that we readily refer to. And the search that we're doing, defined areas that we're looking at, is for a reason.
How many officers?
To say how many persons of interest you have in this case?
No, I know last time that we spoke to the media, and I think it was on the 3-year anniversary, that it was flagged that there was hundreds of persons of interest. And I also clarified that the bar is set very low to be on that persons of interest. In terms of high-risk persons of interest, as distinct from the low-risk person of interest, it's a lot less. I can't go into details about the person of interest other than to confirm we do have persons of interest. Yes, it was. I don't want criticism of the original search. The original search was done for a little boy lost, and quite obviously and quite rightly the focus was on finding William. Now we're looking at it more from an investigative point of view. I think based on what took place during the original search and from our investigations, it's reasonable to draw the conclusion that William's disappearance is a result of human intervention and not through misadventure. But the search that we're conducting now, and a fairly extensive search, is so that we can produce that evidence, whether it be at the coroner's court, whether it be at the criminal court, showing that William's disappearance is a result of human intervention and not through misadventure.
Given how we've seen inquests have helped us solve other cases similar to this in Australia, how would inquests help in this matter?
We'll be working very closely with the coroner. It's not up for me to dictate how an inquest would be run, but I think you'd understand that we do work with the coroner, and we keep every avenue open. If anything can be of a benefit to the investigation, to finding out what's happened to William, I'm sure the coroner would support that.
Gary, is active pedophile ring operating in that area? Is that still a line of inquiry?
Until this matter's solved, we keep all lines of inquiries open. We need conclusive evidence before I can say one thing or another. That line of inquiry was going back, and it is going back a couple of years now. It was a legitimate line of inquiry that we've explored, but that didn't provide any information that led to the charging of any person or the recovery of William.
What sort of area will you be searching this time as in comparison to last time?
It'll be on a lesser scale than last time, but it will be more intense. I'm anticipating that it's only in a rough ballpark figure, approximately 3 square kilometres that we'll be searching during this 3 to 4 week period.
And how many officers are involved in that search?
There's approximately 50 officers involved in the search. They're from the Public Order Riot Squad and the State Planning Unit. They're the experts in this field, and we've outlined to them what we're requiring, and they're providing the services accordingly. Yes, they have been kept up to date, and as you can understand, every day is a living nightmare for them. We keep them informed as to what we're doing with the investigation, so they've got an appreciation of what's gone on.
If you did go to an inquest, that would obviously the police would have to explain their case and deliver their evidence and obviously name suspects. Are we a long way from that?
Look, again, that's something that's really for the determination of the coroner. I can say from my experience that in homicide investigations, they tend to end up at the inquest when we've exhausted all lines of inquiry. We haven't exhausted all lines of inquiry, but you're quite right, an inquest will have to present our case or have to present the evidence we gathered and for the inquiry.
If this search delivers nothing, what happens next?
Look, if this search delivers nothing, as I said, we've got lines of inquiry that we're going to continue on. What I'm hoping from this search, that we will have definitive evidence that we can present to a court if necessary. And again, whether that's a criminal court or a coronial court.
How long has this been in the planning for, and how unprecedented is it?
I'm not sure if unprecedented is the right word. I can't really comment on that, but it's been in the planning for a long time. Everything we do is planned. There's a strategy behind every time that we talk to the media and every inquiry we do. It's not done in an ad hoc fashion. We've got a deliberate plan, and this was coordinated at this time because it suited the investigation.
Will the officers be rotated, the 50 people that are searching today?
There's going to be a core group that will stay on the operation for the duration, and others will be rotated on availability.
Gary, I got the sense that the community really helped in the initial search, but they're a bit surprised to see you back. Are they helping the
Look, the community have been a great support to the police, and I can understand their frustration, and their frustration might not be the mere fact that we've disrupted the community. I think their frustration is that everyone in the community wants to find out what's happened to William, but the support that we've had from the public has been fantastic, and I apologise to anyone if we are causing disruption. I understand that, but I think everyone would agree that priority is finding out what's happened to a little boy.
Is it likely after almost 4 years that there would still be evidence there to be found?
Yes. In my experience, if we come across anything in this search, it could be used as evidence. Time is not a barrier to us in that regards.
Thank you.
Thank you.